The Oregon Court of Appeals today said it would not override an Eastern Oregon judge's ruling, at least not right now, that puts the state's gun control measure, Measure 114, on hold. The Court of Appeals did agree to speed up the time where it will hear the full arguments in the case, but for now, Measure 114 is still on hold. Let's dive into this latest ruling. After the Eastern Oregon judge ruled the law could not take effect, the state took the case to the Court of Appeals. The state wanted the Court of Appeals to enact the law now while the legal case works its way through the system, and the judges said, no, we're not going to do that. The court said it looked at 4 factors in deciding whether to do what the state wanted, which is called granting a stay. It's number 1, the likelihood that the state would win its argument. Number 2, whether the action the state wanted was taken in good faith and not for the purpose of delay. Number 3, whether there is any support in the facts or in the law for what the state wanted. And number 4, the nature of the harm to the state or other parties, to other persons, and to the public that will likely result from doing what the state wanted or not doing it. So the will likely, you're going to see, that's a big part of this. Okay, so those are the 4 questions the judges dug into when deciding if they should grant this stay, which would put Measure 114 into effect immediately because they would stay the Eastern Oregon judge's ruling that said it cannot go into effect. The court said they can also use other factors to decide this issue, and the biggest one that they pointed to is that Measure 114 is not currently enacted and has never been enacted since it was passed by voters in 2022, and that these stays typically are granted to support the status quo, not to change things up, and the state wants to change things up by enacting the law immediately. So the judges were persuaded that they should tell the state no and maintain the status quo with the law being kept on hold. And now getting back to those 4 points, number 1, would the appellant prevail? Well, the Court of Appeals said each side had pretty good arguments, so they kind of thought either side could win. It brushed past number 2 and 3 since the state's not trying to delay but actually speed things up. And as they said back on point number 1, both sides have pretty good arguments. Then for point number 4, the nature of the harm, the state argued it has an interest in enforcing laws, especially those that promote public safety during an epidemic of violence. But the court was not buying that. The Court of Appeals said the state could only point to speculative harm. In other words, their fear of a shooting that was going to happen, but they have no proof, and the judges said that fear was not good enough. So again, the Court of Appeals kept things as they are. Measure 114 continues to be on ice, not taking effect. The court agreed to speed up hearing the full case, though, but speed, kind of a relative term when you're talking about these courts. The court set a deadline of 119 days from now for the 2 sides to submit their legal arguments and responses. So it's going to be a while.